Oh, I'm having one of those afternoons. I don't want to tell you how many times I've tried to record this video. It would be embarrassing. A lot. Okay, so hopefully, fingers crossed, this one is going to be okay. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. And, I hope this one works. We are looking at the Mesillat Yesharim through the eyes of Rabbi Avigdor Miller. This is volume 3. I don't know if you can see it there. I hope you can. I've got this new fandangled light here. We're looking at chapter 17, part 6, chapter 17 in volume 3, and it's entitled The Ways of Acquiring Taharah, which is purity. And I normally do these as audio classes, so much easier. And I send them out every morning except Shabbat. I'm usually pretty good if I don't send them out in the mornings, like I have been recently due to secular holidays. Forgive me, but you'll get one in your inbox every day, completely free of charge. I send them to either Messenger, WhatsApp, or Signal. So if you're interested, put a comment down below and I'll get in touch with you somehow and get you added to these audio classes. If you're watching this in order on the playlist, you'll see that there's chunks that are missing, and that's because they are on the audios. I just do these every sort of weekend, just to get these teachings out to a wider audience and maybe get people interested in these daily classes, because I think these are subjects that I think are very important for people to learn, no matter what their station is in life, whether they are an Orthodox Jew, whether they are a Noahide, or they're perhaps a Christian looking to learn a little bit more about the Torah. What's this Torah thing all about? Because we are looking at subjects that pertain to you. We are not looking at subjects out there in the world, or marveling at, everything that's happening like a spectator. We are getting down and getting into the nitty-gritty and doing the hard yards to find out what it is your mission is that you've been sent to the world to do and to fulfill that purpose. And nothing will get you in a better position to find that out than to study Musar and to study Midot, that is ethical behavior and improving the measure of a person's character. Which is what these books are all about. Okay, so obstacles to attaining Taharah. Taharah is purity. Don't know whether I said that. I've recorded this video so many times. So Taharah is purity. And we start off with a line directly from the Mesillat Yesharim itself. What are the obstacles that you have to be aware of when you are intending to acquire the midah of Taharah, or of purity, or of purity of intentions? Okay, so what are the obstacles that you have to be aware of when you are intending to acquire this midah of Taharah, of purity of intentions? Now, the Mesillat Yesharim says the obstacles to this midah are lacking of thinking about these matters we mentioned. And that's what I was alluding to just a second ago. We often don't think that how we conduct ourselves at home or domestically requires an awareness of the correct Torah way of doing things. And so many people are off kind of in sort of lofty places in the Zohar and looking at these big picture global phenomenal events, yet they are not spending anywhere near enough time learning how to actually just live out the Torah in their home. And over a lifetime, if you're doing things the wrong way on a daily basis, these things will accrue and they will stand against you in your judgment. And it is one of the accuser's tactics to keep you distracted and have you focused on all these sort of worldly global events and sort of let them sort of bedazzle you to the grave. At the end of the day, a lot of these events that happen, probably with the exception of the COVID pandemic, a lot of these things don't really affect you on a daily basis. And even if they do affect you, being locked down gives you an opportunity to learn. How many of us actually took an opportunity over that time to really, get to those books and study those subjects? That was an opportunity that it was there for everybody. Even with the government subsidizing a lot of people to stay home. So I don't know what what people want more than that, with having opportunity to learn. But no, most of the world sort of carried on, just complained about anything and everything. It's almost like as if anything like that happens again, the government just says, okay, guys, do what you want, fend for yourselves. And then no doubt there'll be people complaining about that. Anyway, I'm sidetracking. Okay, so what are the obstacles to this midah of Taharah? Thinking about the matters we mentioned. These matters we mentioned. The lack of thinking about these matters that we mentioned, which I just read, which are ignorance and foolishness, which is one. So everybody's ignorant, everybody's foolish. It just depends on what the subject is and what measure of ignorance and foolishness that is. In fact, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. And there's that classic verse that I always go to, is if anybody among you appears wise, let him first become a fool, so that he then may truly become wise. It's a great. It's one of my favorite passages that you'll read. How unimportant the pleasures that people pursue really are. So the next one is just following after sport, music, movies, fine dining, all this sort of stuff. Getting the latest iPhone, having a flash car, getting a great wristwatch, and all these sorts of things. And then there is pursuing recognition, wanting honor from people, so kavod, and lack of preparation for Avigdor. So that is really not taking your service of Hashem seriously enough to prepare for different things that occur. Like the weekly Sabbath requires some sort of preparation. Same with high holidays. There are some high holidays that require more preparation than others. Say Pesach, Sukkot. You've got to get out there and build a temporary shelter, a dwelling. Spiritual preparation like Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, 10 days of awe. That's an opportunity for that period of time to overturn perhaps a bad decree, like a negative decree. But all of these things only have success in proportion to how much a person prepares for them. Okay, so let's look at the first obstacle. That of foolishness, because intentions must be learned. We have to have motives in order to have purity of motives, and we must learn in order to have a reservoir of ideals in our mind. So if we don't learn, we don't have a pool of wisdom to draw from. So by always being found learning, and learning something that's Torah that pertains to you, not some pie in the sky Torah that just has no bearing on anything but just helps you win arguments. By learning Torah that is particular to, maybe it's Torah to do with marriage, maybe it's Torah to do with how to raise your kids, maybe it's Torah to do with how to be ethical in your workplace, or ethical in your financial dealings, your personal finances or something like that. This is the Torah that is the rubber that meets the road. And this is the Torah we need to learn largely a lot of the time. When we stand in judgment in the Beit Din of Shemayim, they're not going to ask us how knowledgeable we were about end-time events. They're going to ask us if we were righteous in our deeds, in our endeavors. And, did we look to even have righteousness in our thoughts? And how much time have you spent learning to actually think and meditate on good things and think righteous thoughts? Is that ever been a subject that you've ever decided to embark on, learning how to control thoughts, learning how to control yourself online? Like, have you ever done a class on that? And this is obviously, and it's not going to be until you get there you're going to realize how obvious it all was. Because where you are now, you're being bombarded by a myriad of distractions. Like the Pied Piper coming in, playing the flute and leading you out into the wilderness. That's what Hasatan is good at. That's what the Sitra Achora, the dark forces, are good at. Just placing distractions, so you never really do what it is you're meant to be doing here. Then when you are about to do something in Avodat Hashem, service of Hashem, you can draw on that reservoir, but if your mind is empty, what kavana can you have? Therefore, you have to prepare beforehand to put certain thoughts into your mind and gain the attitudes that you will then be able to utilize when you wish to serve Hashem with intention. Learning Mesillat Yesharim is one way to do this preparation. So get a hold of this 4-volume set, the Mesillat Yesharim, or Avigdor Mesillat Yesharim, and you'll have at least started on your journey in the right direction. And start learning these, perhaps learn a subject a day, or if you can get through a chapter a day, that's probably, some of these chapters are quite long, but you can at least, this particular volume's even got a little alarm clock icon for your reading segment. So you go from one alarm clock icon to the next. So it sort of meters out your segments, these information in segmentations for you to learn in little blocks. When doing a mitzvah, you can think about how grateful you are to Hashem for choosing you for the privilege of doing this service. You can think about the reward for doing a mitzvot, and you can think about the greatness of Hashem that is evident in the world. When you're doing a mitzvah, you can think, I'm serving Hashem, who is so great, and his wisdom is so profound, it has no end. That's an idea, but you have to think about it beforehand. You can think about Hashem's kindliness and how he constantly helps people recover from whatever troubles they have. He created people to have a chemistry within their bodies to heal themselves, besides the chemicals found in plants and trees that help to cure illnesses. If you've never thought of this, then the words Rofei Kulim don't mean anything to you. No, I've never thought about it, and indeed, those words don't mean that much to me. Refuah comes from refuah, which is healing, I think. But if anybody knows what that means, let me know in the comments. Spelled R in its transliterated form, Rofei Cholim. Rofei Kulim. You must have information in your mind from which to draw in order to have higher intentions. Otherwise, you have no intention. That is siklut, a lack of knowledge. The second is to study how unimportant the pleasures that people pursue really are. This is talking about pleasures like eating, including eating gourmet foods, going out to restaurants. This is important. If this is important in a person's life, that person has been misled by false ideas. These pleasures are only momentary, only functional. There's really nothing in them. There's no achievement. There is no lasting happiness from them. It's only imagination. You'll never get a more straight shooter like Rabbi Avigdor Miller. He is a straight shooter, and I love it. And I hope you love it too. Of course, in the example of eating, it's a mitzvah to enjoy your food. You'll digest it better, and you'll be able to serve Hashem if you have a healthier body. But your intention should be, I'm eating to serve Hashem. I'm eating to give me the strength so I can concentrate in my learning, concentrate in my prayers, and my doing of mitzvot. And that transforms an animal function into the service of Hashem. But you have to study how physical pleasures in itself is a worthless thing. You have to study how the physical pleasure in itself is a worthless thing. The third obstacle is pursuing recognition from people, wanting honor from other people. Sometimes people do certain mitzvot for the sake of ostentation, so that others will look at them. Let's say a person is a chazan, he's leading the prayer services on Shabbat, say, as he is making a bracha on the Torah, he's thinking, I'm making a good impression with my bracha. Or am I making a good impression with my bracha to the people? Am I saying it in a really good way? Is it a good nigun? Am I singing a good song? He's thinking, am I making a good impression on the people? You have to think about how unworthy it is to run after cheap honor of people instead of the great honor available from Hashem. Someday Hashem will applaud him, and that's more important than if people applaud him. Would it be meaningful to you if 1 million germs in the carpet applauded to you? Would that be meaningful to you if 1 million germs or a bunch of cockroaches applauded you? That's the degree to which, I've added the cockroaches, that's the degree to which Hashem's approval is more important than the approval of everyone else in the world. The last obstacle, lack of preparation. When a person prepares himself beforehand, he thinks about what he is about to do. He's able to think of certain ideals for which he is serving Hashem. But if he does it suddenly without preparation, then his avodah is done without any thought. Even a second preparation is a very big achievement. So before you go into reading a particular blessing or praying about a certain subject, perhaps think about, what am I going to bring before the Almighty? What's on my mind? What's something that I know I need to address? Or more so, what's something that I know Hashem wants me to address? When reading this particular stanza in this prayer, what should some of the things be going through my mind that I should be thinking about when I'm saying these things? That way you'd be less likely for your mind to trail off and think about other things that are to do, not even anything to do with what you're doing. So you become all about lip service and there's nothing going on in your brain. So by preparing and think about some of the things you're going to think about beforehand, you can have more of an opportunity for your mind not to be distracted and to start thinking about other things that are not to do with, your readings that you're doing, maybe reading Psalms instead of you having your mind trail off. Sometimes you get these little one-line introductions to a given Psalm, and that tells you about the theme of the Psalm, and that gives you an opportunity to think about what you can think of that's appropriate to this theme in the Psalm that's affecting you. Listen, that's all I wanted to share. Finally, I've come to the end of the video. I think I'll keep this one and put it up online. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for clicking the video, and I hope this is helpful to you. And I hope you consider, if you haven't already, joining my morning audio classes. So we go through the entire 4 volumes, and we're nearly finished. We've got one more to go, one more book to go after this, and we're nearly halfway through volume 3. Anyway, hope you have a great day or evening or whatever time you're watching this. Bye for now.